Welcome back to DIY Raj. I know it's been a while since I've posted, but once the weather started getting nicer out last year, my attention was shifted to outside projects. So that's where most of my time went and not working on the farm all. Also, last year I bought this Cub Cadet ZT1 zero turn, which you can see is part of the title of this video, which it helps a lot with the little bit of land that we have and it makes cutting grass a lot quicker. After not long after I bought the tractor, I found out that you could add an hour meter to it, and that the tractor comes pre-wired and cut out for it. It's just the decal sticker label that is on the control panel of the ZT1 just didn't have the cutout for it, and obviously they did not include the hour meter itself. So I think I bought it on Home Depot. I can't really remember. I did it last year, which is when this first part of the video, not the first part, but the video itself was recorded, was last year. I think it was under $100. I can't really remember. I'll look back on it and include that in the description of the video. So that's what this video is. It didn't take very long. It's fairly simple. So if you're here looking for that, I hope this helps. If you're here because you're one of my few subscribers, I appreciate it. Or if you stumbled across this video because you saw some funny looking guy, you thought, what the heck, what's this video? I'll look at it. Maybe you'll laugh at me, and that's fun too. So regardless, here's the video. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome back to DIY Raj. It's been a few months since you've heard from me. I had to take a break on the farm all. I had a couple other projects come up, which is why the garage, the barn is a mess here. I went from moving gravel to fill dirt, so it's been a busy few months. So with that, as you saw in the description here, today it's not about the farm all, which I will be getting back to eventually once things calm down. Should be here in the next, hopefully, month or so. But like I said in the description, today's not about the farm all. It's about a Cub Cadet zero turn ZT1 tractor. So this one here is the 54-inch deck version. I just picked it up on Saturday. I haven't got to use it yet, which I'm looking forward to. Also, in the frame, you can see the John Deere L130 here. This I got from my parents. It has a 48-inch deck on it. It was made in 2004, so it's just under 20 years old. I think I'm probably still going to use it from time to time, but I just wanted to give it a break, use it around the yard with the cart and just tasks that I have like that. Okay, so I had to stop the video here for a second. I mentioned the John Deere. Well, I know people may think it's crazy that I have more than one tractor. I actually have three now, excluding the farm all. That's a different story, but that was my uncle's. But this one, the John Deere, as I said, it was mostly my mom's. And every time she was at this house, she was adamant about cutting the grass. I keep up with it, but she just liked getting on the tractor and cutting the grass. And also running out of gas at the far end of the yard and making my dad walk with a 5-gallon jug of gas to fill it up. Anyway, pictures I've included in here while you see her on it. Most people knew, but she was actually going through chemo at that time. She had pancreatic cancer, but she was the toughest person that I've known, and she was just, nothing could stop her. But with that said, the chemo worked, but unfortunately everything came back and we lost her this past February. So because of that, this John Deere, I know some people might think it's stupid, but to me, it holds a special place in my heart. I'm not going to beat up on it. I'm going to only use it when necessary, or if I just have to take it around because I'm thinking about my mom. So with that, I'm going to get back to the video, but this is why the John Deere is special to me. And Mom, wherever you are, I love you, and I hope that you're watching down on us. Back to the video. Just tasks that I have like that. Yes, I know I have a quad, but that also needs work. So it's everything around here needs a little bit of something. So I went and bought this Cub Cadet Zero Turn the other day, and yeah, I'm excited to use it. But with that, one of the things that it doesn't have is an hour meter, which is good for maintenance purposes. Also, I mean, if you go to sell something like that, it's nice to know how much it was used, how much it wasn't used. So I went ahead and purchased the hour meter kit. This one I bought at Home Depot. It's model 490900C075. I looked through the instructions. It seems fairly simple, but that's what this video is going to be about. So I will put the model for this hour meter kit in the description below. I don't remember how much I paid for it. It might have been $50 or something just under that. So I figure it's worth it. We'll see how it turns out and how it works. I read a few reviews. Some people said that the numbers were too small. I also saw the classic 1-star because it should have came with the mower, which that's not really reviewing the item, so I don't understand those reviews, but that's just me. Anyway, like I said, this is the 54-inch, so the model number would be a ZT1 54, and it has the cooler 24 horsepower engine on it. You had another version that you could get. It was a Kawasaki. From what I read, I didn't really do too much research on it, but it looked like the cooler was fuel injected, but the Kawasaki was not. So that's why I went with this model. I'm looking forward to trying it out. There's probably a couple other things I'm going to do to it from what I've read, and I have taken around the yard twice. It's kind of a rough ride, so another modification people do to it is add seat springs. So I'm going to look into that, see what that'll take, and if all goes well, that will be my next video. So let's get to it. Okay, so first I laid out everything that was in the box, which is a manual, the hour meter itself, and also 2 different control panel replacement decals. Because the control panel that is on it now will have to come off. The hour meter will go, I believe it's right in here somewhere. So you'll notice a little bit of a difference in the control panel here. This one, the instructions on how to operate the machine are below the keypad and also the deck blade engagement. And on the new one, they are off to the right or in the middle. This one here I'm not going to be using. This one is for the zero turn mower with the steering wheel, and this one is for the zero turn tractor with the lap bar, which is what this version is. So I'm going to go ahead and just set this aside. The instructions I sort of glanced through, so I'm going to go ahead and set those aside as well. So yeah, the John Deere is still good. It's a nice little workspace. So the first thing I'm going to do, and it tells you to do here in the instructions, is to remove these 4 bolts, screws, whatever you want to call them, holding this black plastic shroud on that easily access the electronics below, or not electronics, but the wires. So I did look, those are 5/16, and I'm going to go ahead and remove those. Okay, that came off pretty easily. Yeah, when I took it for my test drive the other day, it was a little wet out, so flung a little mud everywhere, but it was fun to at least try out. Okay, so what that did, that gave us access to these wires over here and the connectors. So it does tell you to disconnect everything clearly. This one here is going to be for the hour meter. This is the blade engagement connector. Make note of how that went on because I forget things like that sometimes. And over here, take these off. Now it does tell you, sorry, turn the camera there, but it tells you to take these off so it's easier to replace the control panel decal. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Looks fairly simple. My luck, it won't work when I put it back together, but we'll see. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pinch these two pins together, I hope. Then again, maybe not. There's one. I'm going to go ahead and set the camera down so I can use both hands. That's my left hand. A little awkward. I know that light is going to be a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. Oh, man, it's hard to get both of these out at one time here. Yeah, there it goes. It's a little more difficult than what you'd think. It's almost like it's a little bit out of tolerance. There it goes. Okay. Okay, now it looks like to get this off, I'm going to have to take the original decal off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't know how much residue is going to leave because it is adhesive, so let's see how that turns out. Okay, not really sure where to begin here, but nope. Okay, wow, that comes off a lot easier than I had anticipated. I don't think I'm going to actually throw this out quite yet. Let's just hope the hour meter works. I'm sure you can probably buy a replacement one of these, even if something were to happen to it. Okay. It says to clean that off. I do have some rubbing alcohol somewhere. I don't know if I'm actually going to need it, but I'm just going to push these two pins in. That came out a lot easier than the blade engagement and the ignition switch came out. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and install the hour meter, which I'm going to have to look into the manual here to see the actual correct orientation of this, so that whenever I'm reading it, the numbers are not upside down. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I did was I plugged in the ignition switch and also the hour meter. Turned the key on to see where the numbers were on the hour meter, and for the correct orientation, since it does not tell you in the manual, if you're going to install one of these, have this tab where the wiring harness connects to it and latches facing upward, so facing towards me right now, away from the tractor, and that will be the correct orientation. So I'm going to put that in. Once again, the tab is on top. I'm going to go ahead and snap that in there, and that will be good. So the decal, the new instrument panel decal, control panel decal, if you look, there's only a small cutout for the screen right here. So you want to put that in first, and you can put in the blade engagement switch and also the ignition switch after you put the decal back on. I'm going to go ahead and look for my rubbing alcohol just to clean this off, and then we'll apply the label. Okay, so I went and found my rubbing alcohol. This is the stuff I use typically when I'm wiping anything off, whether I'm applying a decal to something or getting ready to paint it. It's just the 91% alcohol. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on this rag here. Old t-shirt sleeve. Come in handy for things like this. So this probably doesn't need it since it's still brand new. But just in case, might as well clean it off. The camera might be shaking a little bit. I have the GoPro sitting on the seat here. I can see it shaking as I'm doing this, but it'll be all right. Okay, that should do it there. So I'm going to apply the new control panel decal. That might be a little interesting to do from the angle I'm at, so I might have to move the camera around a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I'm very particular, so that might take a lot longer than normal, but we'll see. I don't know how that happened. Usually for me, it's not perfect, but this looks like it turned out pretty well. Now, one thing I know is going to probably happen is I'm going to be sitting in the seat there, and I'm going to look down and I'm like, oh man, it looks crooked, and it's going to drive me absolutely crazy. So I wouldn't be surprised if I end up having to order a new one. But from here, from this angle upside down, it looks pretty good. So there's the new control panel with the hour meter showing. Now it's time to reconnect the ignition switch and the blade engagement switch. Sorry, I don't know the correct terminology for it. I should, but yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I have to remember the correct orientation here. Off the top of my head, I do not, but luckily, before I started this project, I took a picture. So I'm going to go ahead and refer to that real quick. And that looks like that switch goes in this way. That went in a lot nicer than it came out, that's for sure. Ignition switch, self-explanatory. Let's see here. And again, that went in a lot nicer. This panel here, the one that was on it had a couple bubbles in it. Again, I know, I'm sure a lot of people are like, it's a lawnmower, tractor, whatever. Who cares? But I want it to look neat. So I'm going to bring the camera over here, and we'll reconnect these wires. Okay, so now that we're on the underside again here, we're going to connect the ignition switch first. This you can't really mess up. You can see here there are 4 connectors on top and a 5th on the bottom that's centered. You can see the pins are oriented the same way. Oriented, is that the right word? I think so. Okay, so that's on, and this random white wire here that went over, usually I think white is ground, so that might be what that is. This, I do not remember, but again, it doesn't matter. As you can see here, I'm not sure if there's a blank spot without a connector, and on this switch here, there's an empty space, so clearly it goes that way. I did not see that before whenever I was connecting things to check on the hour meter orientation. This one, again, self-explanatory. Clip here is the one that clips to the top of the hour meter, which I was explaining in the orientation. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. And now, just to verify that I reconnected everything in the correct way, I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Not start it, just turn the key on and make sure. So, let's see. Okay, so I put the key in and I'm just going to turn on the ignition to the on position, verify that the meter works and that I did install it in the correct orientation. So it's on, and even though I'm reading it upside down, it is installed correctly. It's telling me low oil, so that's probably something I'm going to have to check, and I will bring the camera in a little closer just so it can be seen. Okay, and there you have it. There's the install of the hour meter on the Cub Cadet ZT1 The only thing left to do now is to reinstall the plastic cover with the 4 screws, and I'm done. It was a lot more simpler than I had imagined. So we'll get to it. Okay, so got my panel cover here. Stick that back on. You'll notice the camera in a few different positions as I'm doing this tonight. I bought a couple different pieces for the GoPro. Right now I'm using, I forget what it's called, but it's a mix between a tripod and not necessarily a selfie stick, but something along those lines. It's like a 3-in-1 or something like that. Well, I forgot. Okay, minor technical difficulty. My battery died on me, so had to replace that. I don't remember what I was saying, but anyway, I bought a new GoPro handle and I forgot it had the features that it has. So anyway, we'll get back into screwing these in, and that'll be it for the night. Okay, and that's it. I don't really know how long that took, but it wasn't very long at all. Pretty simple job. Like I said, it cost what, $50. I get it that, I think that's what it was, but I get it that it should be on here from the factory. As long as it works for me, I'm not going to rate it 1 star. It was a simple install. So what if you have to add it on later? It's pretty simple if you have basic knowledge. I mean, really, all you have to know is how to use a ratchet and see how wiring harness connects to the switch, the blade engagement, and the hour meter. I just realized I also left the key on, so that's fun. Pretty simple install, and probably the next video, maybe, will be the seat spring installation. I have yet to buy it. I'm going to go in and look at it here a little bit tonight, but that may be the next video that you see. So I'm going to, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to put the hour meter part number down in the description. 3/16 socket, some rubbing alcohol. That's all it took. And I'm sorry, I said 3/16, but it's 5/16. That's why I was double checking. I was like, wait, that doesn't sound right. 5/16 socket, that's all you really need. And rubbing alcohol. And maybe, what, 20 minutes at the most. So, well, I think it looks pretty good. Pretty easy upgrade. That's that. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and also the notification. That way you'll be informed anytime I post a new video. And thanks for watching. This is DIY Raj.